Hello. We are live. Sorry for our delay, by the way, but it was for a good reason. So, welcome to the fourth and I believe final episode of Building an App Dashboard Live. It's been quite a ride. What we're doing in these sessions is to build this dashboard that you see here. So we have a lot ready, right? So we started with a nice overview with our main metrics about acquisition, store performance, the whole funnel from a visit all the ways to an install with ratings, reviews, crashes. We also made this simplified view with a little bit less metrics, but a more concise visualization. Then we drill down into Google Play and the App Store. And so far, we worked a lot on the acquisition metrics, the top line. So all the installs, reviews, updates, redownloads, and then also the same by traffic source, by product page, country, etc. I mean, there's like so much here from both the App Store and Google Play. It's really exciting. Offline, I did some work last week. Basically, I added the crashes information, so crashes and ANRs. And the cool thing here is that we're basically comparing, for example, our crashes with daily device installs or uninstall events. And the idea here is to really try to assess causation. So maybe, for example, you had a spike in crashes and that led to more uninstalls, or maybe that it's affecting the amount of installs that your app is getting. So that's the point. As you can see here, that's not really the case. And then we're doing the same thing for subscriptions. So we can also see, okay, how are we doing if we compare new subscriptions with crashes and ANRs? Again, to try to identify any correlation between the two. Good. So there's a lot ready. And I believe this is the template for a free app, or maybe free is not the best word for it, but for a non-monetized app. So you have all your acquisitions, ratings, reviews, etc. So this gives you a very good view on how your app is doing. Now we're going to work on a different branch here. Basically, what we want to add today, let me go back. What we want to add today is everything related to in-app purchases, subscriptions, and then, of course, your revenue and proceeds. There are a lot of details. It's very interesting, right? Because we as developers, what we see and what we're looking for in the end of the day, it's the payouts, how much we're actually getting paid. But before that, there's so much going on, right? You have refunds, you have fees, you have different subscriptions. Maybe you're introducing new plans like weekly, monthly, yearly, with different prices on different currencies as well. And the App Store, they do a bunch of calculations to get to your final proceeds and payouts. And there are a lot of opportunities. If you start looking on this funnel, you find a lot of things that can be improved. Now, the tricky thing is that that's not really 100% visible on the App Store and Google Play. I mean, some of this stuff is 100% visible, some not really. Yeah, and there's a lot. So for today, I'm actually going to do just kind of cover the basics. But then what I also want to do, for example, is to compare the data that you see on this dashboard with the data that you have on the App Store Connect, for example. And it's interesting because if you pay attention on App Store Connect, you see that whenever you are looking at revenue or proceeds, there is a small note saying that this is estimated, right? And why is that? Well, because of all the things that I just said about fees, refunds, etc. But not only that, because you also have currency exchanges. So if you're selling your app in all countries, for example, for sure you have money flowing from every direction, and then the exchange rate is also going to play a big part on how much you get paid in the end of the day. This is maybe too deep, so I'm planning to do a separate session after all the lives where we're going to cover that. For today, we're just going to bring our sales data basically. So I want to see how much are we selling, and then there are some nice fields like, for example, I can see my subscription per billing cycle. So am I selling more weekly, monthly, yearly, for example? Or if I have multiple options for weekly sales or yearly, then I can also compare those, right? So it's going to be very interesting. Let's dive into it. You also need to do something like this, by the way, for revenue. I think that would be very interesting. Okay, cool. So we want to add our subscriptions data. Just 1 second, please. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So what I want to do is to use some of the templates that we already have, because if you look here, you are going to find some of the things that we want to add. So let's bring our subscriptions data. So I'm going to use this one. So we do have this, where we have the quantity of sales. So how many units did I sell? So how many subscriptions or individual in-app purchases? Then what's the estimated proceeds and gross revenue from those sales? What's the split by billing cycle, by country, by cancellations, and also how many of the sales were sold per month? This is also interesting. And then we have, for both Google Play and the App Store, this is also ready to use. I think we just need to add maybe a thing here or there, but it's like 90% done. Let's get this template. If you're watching this, by the way, on LinkedIn, give me a heads up, because I see more and more people watching on LinkedIn instead of YouTube. That's interesting. Let me know like who you are and what do we want to see today. Cool. Okay, so I already have this template, and what I want to do is to basically bring all of this to my dashboard. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see all my pages. Okay. So I believe I'm just going to add a new page. Instead of making one from scratch, I'm just going to duplicate this. I think this makes more sense. And then, yeah. Just gonna copy paste. Will this work? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The design is not the same, so we want to fix that. So instead of this, actually, I think I can just apply the same style. So let me set this transparent, border 5. I think if you just do this, yeah, let me group all of them. think this border is too thick, maybe. There's just one, and yeah, it's a bit lighter actually. Well, this was not selected. Okay, cool. And then I think I also have a border here, so let me remove that. Nice. These are my subscriptions. It's tricky actually, because there's no distinction. Oh, I was not sharing, sorry. There's no distinction between kind of a one-off in-app purchase and the subscription. Like it's all an in-app purchase. It doesn't matter, actually. So I'm saying that this is a subscription, but we could say that this is just sales. Actually. So like if your app sells subscriptions, then you'd only see subscriptions here. If you sell both, just individual purchases plus subscriptions, then you'd have both as well. Yeah, interesting. So it's a taxonomy problem, basically. Yeah. Okay, so I believe what I'm gonna do is to simply just call this sales. We don't need this. So we have a couple of filters. The app and the country. Just some of the fields. You could also filter by currency here, for example. And here we could also have the same, not the same, but a similar filter by country. Let's do that, by the way. Yeah. Then just have to stretch this a bit. Make this white. Let me see how we're reorganizing this. The overview. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to keep the scorecard as is. No problem. State in-app purchases. I really just wanted to have one color scale. I don't want to manually choose, but maybe, yeah. I mean, this could be a time series, but this is not nice. I don't have to pick one by one, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, just I use the same color. Is it weird? Yeah, so ideally you do some kind of gradient. Yeah, for now I'm not going to do it, but you get the idea. I think I am. Cool. Misclick. Yeah, I'm just going to fix this later. Okay, cool. So we have our sales per day, and then we have our units. So how many units were sold? I have to apply a filter here because we only want sales. Don't forget, on the first episode, I told you and showed you how to do this exactly. So we're going to include the product type name. Okay. So if you're in doubt, by the way, what I always do, I transform this into a table, and then I just bring my metrics. Sorry, the title. So then here I see, okay, so let me just remove the filter. So this is what I have on the table. So if I want to score a card with 86 with the in-app purchases, I just have to filter by that. So that's how you debug. That's the most common mistake I see, especially when people are confused about what is here compared to what they see on the App Store Connect console. What you have to have in mind when you see data on App Store Connect is that that data is filtered and sorted. And here you have all your data. So you need to filter what you want to see. Otherwise, there's going to be more stuff there that you don't really need. Okay. Let me just remove this. So this is in-app purchases. By the way, I do want to have another view with subscription dimensions. Because so this tells me like how much am I selling? Do I actually need to have this by country? Actually, you know what? We don't need this. We don't need this at all. So this is how much am I selling? How many units, basically. And then you're going to ask me, okay, so how do I also put the revenue here? It's not that easy. Let's evaluate what we have here. So what we have, I mean, if you look at this, you notice that there's no revenue field. What you have is the customer price. So this is the full amount that your customer paid. And you have the developer proceeds, which is how much you actually, you're probably going to receive because this is estimated by Apple. And this is what we put here. What's the challenge with the currency proceeds? Sorry, the developer proceeds is that that information is granular. So you're going to see your sales basically. Let me just make this a bit bigger so you see it. So you are going to see it per currency, right? So as you can see, most of my sales is in US dollars, then Canada, and yada yada, right? And I think, by the way, there's no filter here. Probably these two. Also, I like a filter. Because otherwise I have my downloads mixed. Let me also fix the sorting. So I'm going to sort by units, actually. Okay. So most of my proceeds are coming from the US. So it's US dollars, Brazilian reais, Canada, etc. Right? And then this is the amount. So 859, but this is not dollars. So basically you are summing all of this. So that's why this is a bit misleading. So I don't really want to have this, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to change this. I'm going to remove this scorecard because that's misleading. So this means I have to fix the other template, basically. And that's okay. So let's do something like this. I wanna remove the comparison label. Not only the comparison label, the metric itself. Nice. Okay, and I also want to remove the shadow. Nice. Okay, then also now I don't need this, right? Give this a bit more space. Good. Very small, by the way. Let me just fix this and also use the same fonts that we're using in all the other pages. Really? Not 14? We're using Lato and I think 18 then. I think it's black. I'm just going to fix the background later. Okay, but as I was saying, so these are all the sales and these are proceeds, and the proceeds you have to multiply them by the currency. So there's a whole calculation. If you want to see that, we do already have a template. Where is it? Here, where basically we do some calculations with the currency exchange. So you know exactly the value in euros, dollars, etc. But that doesn't come out of the box. I can show you here. So if I go to App Store Connect, I come here, sales and trends. Okay, proceeds. So it's here, but this is estimated, basically. Because there's no currency exchange on the API. For Google, we do have, and I'm gonna show you, that they even put here. So it's proceeds in USD. My account is not even on USD. We receive in Brazilian reais. So what we're going to do for now is just we're going to focus here on the amount of purchases, but we will get there. Okay, so there is a way. There is a way, but for now we're going to just be happy with this. Cool. Okay, so in-app purchases. Now, I also want to bring the subscriptions from, and this is really, let me see. These are subscriptions. Okay. Nice. But yeah, Okay. I'm going to build something from almost from scratch here. So let's open the same page for Google Play. We already did it for the App Store. Now let's do the same for Google Play. Let's remove everything but this. Subscriptions. So why am I doing subscriptions for Google Play? And I did in-app purchases for iOS. Well, because we have both, so let's have both. But for Google Play, we have a specific data set with the subscriptions that are ready. So we do need to do this again, right? So let's. Whoa. Okay. Good. Let me just check something in parallel. Let me see what's underneath this. Okay. Okay, so let's connect to my demo data source. It's Google Play. See, so there's one for subscriptions. So that's what we're going to use. So again, before building a chart, I just want to bring the data in a table so I can see, okay, does this make sense? Yes or no? Then I'm going to transform this into a line chart. And this is interesting, right? Because we have new subscriptions and then we have canceled subscriptions. I think what I want to do here is to stacked, and then so cancellations are going to be red. It's going to be our little blue. And then I wanted to kind of invert. So let's do double. Can I select which metric goes where? Yeah, because what I wanted to do is to assign negative value to cancellations. But I think it's going to be tricky to do that. So let's not do it. Oh, I'm having way more cancellations. Wow, or is this because I have two axes? Yeah, I have two lines. Okay. Let me see if I can do what I wanted to do. Otherwise, no, not really. Okay, forget it. Forget it. Okay. I think it's strange to look at them together. I mean, it's nice to look at them together because then they have the same axis. So it's easy to understand what's going on. Because if I put them in different charts, then they're going to have a different scale. So it's hard to compare. And maybe you still want to do this because this is a bit strange, right? So I think I'm going to duplicate it. Then what you could do, you could set the scale manually according to how big your app is. So I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to have new. I'm going to have canceled. And of course, new. Wow. So there's a cancellation. So you see the scale is different, but I'm not going to do it here because this is a template. But on your version, you could just change the scale and that would work for you as well. Then the cool thing about doing this is that you could then have a comparison. So here on the date range, line chart, comparison, previous period. So if I select a month, it's going to show me the month before. If I select a quarter, it's a quarter. If it's a year, then it's a year, so on. Oh, let me see. Oh, there's a breakdown. I don't want to have the breakdown. Nice. It's a bit strange because I have a peak here, but I can't change the reality of the data. So I have my new subscriptions, and then I can see quarter over quarter. Then I can also see the same with my cancellations. I'm also going to do this, and I'm going to transform this into a scorecard. So this is how it should be. Okay, so do the table first, and oh, why is it not here? Looker can be a bit buggy sometimes. Oh, I see. No, I'm messing up. That's why. So I don't want to have a sparkline. So this is how many subscriptions I had in total. So what I'm going to do, something like, visually this is a bit awkward. But it's okay. Let me refresh. Cancellations, and then I'm going to reverse this because if I have more cancellation, that's a bad thing. So this is red, and this is green. So if I have less cancellations, that's a good thing. Good. So in this case, I had more. So red it is. And I think what I'm gonna do here is a simple table. I'm gonna do a simple table with both, basically. I want to have new subscriptions and my canceled subscriptions, maybe even my active subscriptions, like all of them. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And then also cancellations. Good. I don't want to have a comparison here. It's going to be overkill. It's too much. Too much information. So show the number, show number, show number. Sorry, this should be a bar. But the active subscriptions, I think this is going to be a heat map. Switch to data. Yeah, we're going to do some changes here. Mafioso first. Bar. Why? Oh, because it's it's white. So this is canceled subscription. So this is going to be red. These are new subscriptions. I'm going to use the same color as I had above. This. And so it's like it looks like I have more canceled subscriptions, but that's because they have different scales basically. So if you want to adjust that, just on the axis here, you can fix that. Okay, but also, I mean, active subscriptions should be just a thing. This is smaller. Good. So you could even have a target. So let's say, for example, you are aiming at, I don't know, 200 subscriptions per day. You could add that on the axis, so 200. And then you could see it here, but not going to use this for now. On no axis. Yeah. I'm not sure about all the formatting, to be honest. Maybe I think this is just numbers. I think this is just numbers because it's going to be very hard to get the scale right, to be honest. Let me refresh. And I'm going to wrap up this episode. I'm going to continue offline. So basically what I want to add here is so the same subscriptions view for the App Store as well. I'm going to remove all this formatting. We also have the offer ID, the product ID, the base plan ID. So I want to bring all of that. We can bring the billing cycle, but I don't have a lot of time today. So I'm just going to call off this episode now, continue offline. And then what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to have a different episode where I just walk you through all the dimensions, all metrics, filters, how did I do certain things. And that's it, because this is going to take some work for sure. Okay, so it was a pleasure. For the next season, we are planning on doing a different format. I think the live stream is interesting, but it is very long, very time consuming. So probably we're just going to record the videos and edit and make a very short version for you guys, so you can see how we build our dashboards. And that's it. Okay, so by the way, if you want to connect your data from the App Store and Google Play to Looker Studio, just check out easyappreporters.com. We're also launching today Google Ads and Meta Ads. So if you want to bring your UA data here, it's also possible now. We're also working on Apple Search Ads. We then have TikTok ads coming. So really, the sky's the limit. You can build anything you want, kind of the dashboard of your dreams. And you don't have to do all this manual work with exporting CSVs, cleaning tables, Google Sheets, and then connect to Looker Studio. Now, just have your whole data directly on Looker, and yeah, just be happy. That's one less thing that you have to do every day or every week. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I see you on the next season. Bye-bye.